तिनक धिन धागे न 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 तिनक धिन.
Every day I wake, I make my mind up. I'ma be the one, be the truth, be the way. Yeah. Every day I wake, I make my mind up. Gotta keep my mind on the because they only telling their side of the story. Out here telling lies like they on Morid. And poor rich kids get their money on phone it. But down here in the hood, yeah, we know Forex. We growing up, yeah.
Love has truly been good to me. Not even one sad day or minute have I had since you come away. I hope you know I'd gladly go anywhere you take me. It's so amazing to be loved. I follow you to the moon and the sky above.
The upper room. Y'all boys ain't no players, man. Y'all might not know nothing about that there. Yeah.
Read my lips. You ain't no player.
So look here. Peace to the party. It's your homeboy back again with the news. And today, got another good one as always, y'all. They've been cooking, you know. We're gonna break down all the news, right? However it may come, and we're really trying to target the media and show them, show the war that they got against the people, specifically with the black culture. So we're gonna get right to it, man. We're gonna start with some of y'all tuning in to us, y'all may be old enough to remember the show Good Times, right? Good times by struggling in the ghetto, trying to figure out a way to survive, but stuff just never add up right. So there was a lot of controversy behind the show, but lo and behold, Netflix is dropping the remake. So let's get to this first, and then I'll share my thoughts after, but we got to get right to it because I got to bring this to the people. I want to know what y'all think about this.
Important news.
Let me guess. The state called and they want to cut you a disability check for your face. Hold up. You can get paid for that?
This is from a fool who stares at his orange juice every morning.
It says concentrate on the box. Who the dummy now? Shit. Me for not wearing a condom. Woo! Shadows fall over my heart. It all started with my grandfather, James Evans. My job as the man of this house is to take care of this family no matter what.
I just want to let you know I'm going to take good care of Gray.
Who is this I'm about to kill?
Juan, my boyfriend. Daddy, let him go.
Baby, she come with me.
Junior's repeating the 10th grade for the 3rd time.
Is there anything you can suggest to help him get to the drive-thru?
Can you do OnlyFans? Take off your shoes. Let me see what kind of feet you working with.
I'll take you to the dark side.
Dear Black Heavenly Father, College Redeemer, if you could just help us.
Son, it's for you.
New phone. Who this?
All black, everything. At least they ain't got that drug dealing baby under my roof no more.
Man, my mouth ready for some milk right now.
Dalvin, why are you so breast obsessed? It's childish, man.
Bruh, I'm a baby. I can't get no more childish than that.
In a nocturnal state of mind.
Your neighborhood is a real shithole. It's the system. They put the guns and drugs on the streets.
Underneath this black sky. This is getting dangerous. I won't just sit back and let you put yourself in harm's way. I love you too very much. Everything black.
The revolution will not be televised.
Come on, Rosa Parks, can't you just enjoy this? Black bird, black moon, black sky, black light, black everything black.
We're just as good as the Evans of old.
Isn't that just dynamite?
But the truth is, we're the Evans of new.
Bitch, you look like money.
Black, everything black.
What about the struggle?
We're black. It'll be here tomorrow.
Everything black, black bird, black moon, black sky, black light, black everything black.
Wait a a minute. The baby, little baby, and baby baby?
Too many babies around this crib.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
Man, look. So here they come, right? They take this version from back in the day, and now they making it more like a kid-friendly version, like a cartoon. Think of Boondocks, right? So here they come with this version that even the original version had a lot of controversy, like I was saying earlier, within the news and the media. People on that cast have spoken out and said how they had differences with the staff because the way that the stories were being written. Okay, so here they come now, fast forward to the future, and remaking this same thing, but now with an even more egregious version, really, because they took out, because at least even with the messages they started trying to portray in the old good times, they still at least showed the family, you know, because they couldn't just go against the grain all the way. But now they're showing this whole new version that's really, you know, gonna be some straight up nigga shit, man. We just got to keep it real. We already know what this gonna be. And once I'm done presenting this, I'm gonna show you why really we shouldn't touch this show at all. Really should boycott it because it's some bullshit. But we're gonna get to that, right? So I want to go speak. We got to go back in time real quick. John Amos, he was the father on Good Times, right? He spoke out and he had his own story. And I want you to hear from him because I'm just your homeboy with the news. I could be telling you anything, right? So let's hear it straight from the source, and then we're gonna break down what this really means.
Differences we had on that show, and we had a number of differences, as evidenced by my early departure from the show, was I felt that with two other younger children, one of whom who aspired to become a Supreme Court justice, that would be Ralph Carter or Michael, and the other, Bernadette Stannis, I think, she aspired to become a surgeon. And the differences I had with the producers of the show was that I felt too much emphasis was being put on JJ and his chicken hat and saying dynamite every third page, when just as much emphasis and mileage could have been gotten out of my other two children and the concomitant jokes and you know, humor that could have come out of that. But I wasn't the most diplomatic guy, like I said, in those days, and they got tired of having their lives threatened over jokes. So they said, to tell you what, why don't we kill him off and we'll all get on with our lives. Life's too short. So that taught me a lesson that I wasn't as important as I thought I was to the show or to Norman Lear's plans. And he was not about to have a disruptive factor. That was me, a disruptive factor. I got the call, we were on hiatus, when I found that I was no longer to be a part of the show. And Norman's secretary at that time, a very nice young lady by the name of J.D. Joe, called and said, John, Norman would like to speak to you. And I thought that was kind of unusual as we were on hiatus. And so Norman got on the phone. He said, Big John. I said, yes, Norman. He said, I've got some good news and some bad news. What do you want first? I said, hey, it's your dime. You made the call. He said, well, the good news is we've been picked up for another season, which was a foregone conclusion because we'd never been out of it. Once we broke into the top 10, we never were out of it. And we stayed in the top 5 for quite a few weeks, if I remember correctly. One way or the other, I couldn't understand why he was calling me to tell me that we were renewed. And then he said, you want the bad news? I said, sure, how bad can it be? He said, you won't be with us. And I said, nothing. I didn't say a word. I let that register for a minute. And he said, you still there? I said, yeah, I'm here, Norman. Well, don't you want to say something? He said, what can I say? It's your show. Have a good life. Click. And that was it. I was going to be, recalcitrant to the end. You won't get me to roll over and cry for the job. No, forget you, man. But I didn't curse or anything. I just hung up the phone. And he didn't call me back to see if I had anything else to say. I never heard from him again for months and months and months.
Hey, salute to that brother for standing tall. A lot of men and women would have folded in that position and just would have went along with the script just to keep the money coming in and, you know, the position within Hollywood. But we had people who were standing tall and firm on certain morals and principles that they knew were wrong. This is why you can understand how the media is important. They knew that the way that these characters were going to be portrayed in super popular shows would catch on within the common community, and this is not what they wanted to represent. Right? They wanted to have the totality of what it was really like to grow up in these areas, not one caricature that y'all just want to highlight over and over. This is what he was speaking to. Right. And you see, they had to get the father up out of there. But so he said something key that I want to get to. Let's keep it moving. We're going to walk this down. This is why we shouldn't be rocking with this series. So the man behind it, he said a man by the name of Norman Lear. All right. So Norman Lear is a very important individual to this whole situation. Right. So we're going to take it over here to screen 3 real quick. And we're gonna do a little, we're gonna roll his sleeves up. We're gonna see what Norman Lear really about. And paint to a picture to y'all to see why this is not the guy who we should be getting our media from and telling us what the Black experience is. It don't make no sense. So check Buddy out, right? We on his website. All right, you can see normanlear.com. So it say here, hold on, let me get situated. It say Norman Lear is a television and film writer producer whose dynamic career in Hollywood has encompassed both the golden age and streaming era. Keep that in mind now, y'all. All right, so now let's go to Buddy backstory. All right, so he did a whole bunch of stuff, but I want to start with the beginning. He was born in 1922 in New Haven, Connecticut. Lear attended Emerson College before flying 52 combat missions over Europe during World War II. Upon his return, Norman began a successful career writing and producing programs like the Colgate Comedy Hour and the Martha Raye Show, ultimately leading to Lear captivating 120 million viewers per week with his iconic shows of the 70s and the 80s. All in the Family, Maude, Good Times, The Jeffersons, and Mary Hartman. All right. As Lear began witnessing the rise of the radical religious right, he put his television career on hold in 1980 to found People for the American Way. Today, the organization is over 1 million members and activists strong and continues to fight right-wing extremism while defending constitutional values like free expression, religious liberty, equal justice under the law, and the right to meaningfully participate in our democracy. All right, so let's keep this in mind. So it's telling you right now, this is on his website now. This guy has passed now, so he has a lot of different things that are going on, different initiatives that he started while he was alive that are carrying over, even, you know, after he's gone. So why does this matter? So you can see right now that bro really tied in with philanthropy. Now it's real when you hear that word, that's a way to disguise all kind of things. Just because it's philanthropic does not mean that it couldn't be, the money could be going to something that's really not good for the people that they're targeting. And this is known to be alleged within our American society. That's just facts. That's not a conspiracy theory, right? So let's check into Buddy real quick. So I want to read this passage to you. It says the Lear Family Foundation is a private foundation created in 1997 by Lynn and Norman Lear to support a wide range of nonprofit organizations across the country. Areas of support include civil liberties, education, the environment, health, youth initiatives, civic activism, media, and the arts. All right. So what does this all mean? Let's break this down. So now you have a guy who's been in charge of some very, very popular shows. But these same popular shows had a lot of controversy around the writing, how it was portraying Black people. Now, notice these popular shows that he was the head man of. This doesn't even include things he could have assisted on the production on many other shows. It shows you how many viewers that he was in front of. He built his whole career because a lot of the other shows was trash. It was the black shows that made them that real bag. Let's just keep it 100, right? So with that being said, you would think that he had to have put a lot of black people on. How did this guy get so creative? Like, what's his story? Well, come to find out, here's this guy trying to influence civics. He's trying to influence different youth initiatives, right? And you're targeting the black community, and you want to create certain pictures to fit towards your narrative. And come to find out, he didn't create none of this. He stole this from a man named Eric Monty. So I want y'all to hear from him, because, you know, I'm just a homeboy with the news. We always got to do our due diligence. So I'm going to let him speak to y'all, and you tell me what you think. We're going to chop it up in the comments.
The Writers Guild only wanted to pay me minimums, okay? And what's happening was based on Cooley High. So I should have got whatever I wanted for what's happening. So ABC, Mike Eisner called me in, and they wanted to do a series based on Cooley High. So I said, okay, but I don't want to go through what I went through at Norman Lear, at Tandem Production. So I wanted to produce it under my own production company. And I'm not mad at him for taking the Jeffersons. He can have that. I want to produce under my own production company. I'll make buku money. So they said, okay, but you've never produced. So you need some line producers. So I said, okay. So they said, your agent, Bernie Weintraub, he represents these two line producers, Saul Turtletop and Bernie Ornstein. We want to use them. So I said, okay. So I wrote a script, the pilot script for What's Happening, turned it in to ABC. They accepted it, okay. When they set up the offices, it said Toy Production. And I was like, who the hell is Toy Production? Turtletop and Ornstein had gone out and formed a company with Bud York and Norman Lear's partner. ABC had signed to do the show with that company, and my agent, Bernie Weintraub, had negotiated the deal, all behind my back.
And these are the same Ornstein, Weintraub that did Sanford and Son.
Yeah. So I went to the Writers Guild, and the Writers Guild was into, okay, we can get you minimums. Because I had proof that I created Good Times, that I created George and Louisa the Jeffersons, that I created What's Happening.
Just by the sheer fact that you created those characters entitled you
to pay me.
Even if you didn't work on the Jeffersons series,
right,
the fact
right,
that you created those characters
right.
entitled you.
Okay. So, but Norman Lear hadn't put my name on the credits at all, and I had proof. But the guild was into, we can get you minimums. And I felt I deserved more than minimums. So I filed a suit against ABC, CBS, Saul Turtletop, Bernie Ornstein, Bud Yorkin, Norman Lear, Bernie Weintraub. I filed a lawsuit against them. So that's what happened. So at the end, my lawyers that were representing me, Norman Lear came to me, and he offered me $1 million for a settlement. And I said, for all those shows, no way. So the lawyers came to me and they said, look, take that money because you still have your suit against the networks and the others, but at least we'll get paid. So I said, okay. He offered me $1 million at one point of Good Times, so I said, okay. So when the papers came down, all the defendants were listed. So I said, I didn't agree to this. They said, either you take this or we're walking off the case. This was 1 week before the statute of limitations ran out. I went all over Los Angeles looking for lawyers to represent me. I had the evidence and everything, okay? No lawyer in that town would take my case. So about 3 days before, and I didn't have the legal skills to go against Norman Lear and CBS's lawyer in court, even though I had the evidence, because you can lose a case on the technicality. Okay.
So this is the consequence of standing up for yourself.
And that was the consequence. And none of this.
Is the DVDs are still in circulation.
I know. The show is still. Cosby too.
The actors don't make money either.
Yeah, I know.
It's just.
Yeah. Norman Lear is a racist, a hypocrite, a thief, and a liar.
He said it plain as day. So this guy, Norman Lear, advanced his career and really got to a power position because of these black shows that he stole from a black man. The black man was trying to paint it the way that the community actually was, right? Because it just makes sense. You would want somebody to write from about a place or an experience that they've actually been through. This is why in the war movies, they want to go get the real soldiers, right? So if you're writing about some black people in their community, wouldn't it make sense for black people to be the ones writing in it? It can't be a room full of all white people. Just like all black people shouldn't write an all white cast. It don't make sense, bro. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just common sense. It ain't nothing to do with being racial. That's just knowing your market and demographics and creating the best content. But clearly there was an agenda. This is the whole thing that we're trying to put together. And it's showing you how Norman Lear was backed by Hollywood because he was in with the major studios. These same production companies that's here now, that the big boys, they've been around since the beginning of when Hollywood was created. These is all facts. And they play and they collude against certain actors, especially in the black culture. They want to get you paid the least and put out the most egregious content on purpose over and over again, right? So you heard it from him, man. Norman Lear robbed the black community, painted us in a certain light. He's just one of many. But he became, he was the big dog of this. And you see now, he tied in. He literally put politics into his media. He had no reason to do that. You're in movies. What do you need to worry about politics for? Because this is the connection that we've been trying to show y'all. It's not by a coincidence. When they say there's no agenda, that's a lie. Just open your eyes. Showed you how in the beginning they trying to come with this good times through Netflix, and it's gonna be some egregious shit, really just to highlight and degrade us, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. So we're gonna move to this last topic. This one right here, man, it's kind of it's a good person to use because we're gonna talk about Allen Iverson, how he said, basically, he ain't had no blueprint to success. And I want to point out how it's really the culture that hold us back from getting the success that we really need because of the stuff that we do. So Allen Iverson was my favorite player growing up. You know what I'm saying? He really did it for the culture. He changed the game. He an icon. But I want to show y'all how the culture that was put upon us that's not really so-called black culture is really detrimental to our success, and it hold us back. So let's check this video out real quick and we're going to talk about it.
Wear throwback football jerseys to games, with ice around their necks to flaunt the millionaire status. I mean, Iverson was icier than the North Pole. Necklaces, chains, bracelets, earrings, you name it. AI was rocking it. He was the poster boy of the bling-bling era in the late 90s and early 2000s. And of course, all that jewelry wasn't cheap, but that was just the tip of the iceberg of his spending habits. AI bought a lot of luxury cars, and there were some legendary stories about how little he cared about them. One time, his rookie teammate Larry Hughes was so excited when he saw Iverson's Bentley that AI simply let Hughes take it. It's true, he already had several Bentleys in his garage anyways, but what's even crazier than just giving away cars was the time Allen walked up to an airport parking lot and couldn't find his luxury car. Or instead of searching for the vehicle, like a normal person, he decided to call a cab, go straight to the dealership, and buy a new one. And the craziness didn't stop there. Matt Barnes, another former teammate of Iverson, spilled a very telling story about AI's lavish spending. Barnes and Iverson would sometimes go to the gentlemen's nightclubs, aka strip joints, and Iverson would routinely throw away $30,000 or $40,000 a night, just making it rain. Barnes also said he'd often just scoop up some of the cash off the floor and keep it, because he couldn't believe that this man was literally throwing money away. Iverson was a baller in every sense of the word, being iced out, buying oversized mansions, luxury cars, and flying private, and the costs started adding up, even if you're making $20 million a year. Here's what AI's regular monthly spending bills looked like. He'd spend $10,000 on new clothes, $10,000 on restaurants, and another $10,000 on groceries. $125,000 a month was just his credit cards and mortgages for various houses he bought. Then there's also the partying and the gambling. It's reported that Iverson blew $1 million in one night while gambling at an Atlantic City casino due to some unpaid debts and drunken behavior. He was banned from several casinos in Atlantic City and Detroit. On top of his own costs, AI always kept a big entourage around. At the peak of his fame, he had 50 of his friends and relatives living and traveling with him. And of course, Allen paid for everything. And he had probably loaned a lot of money that he never saw again. At the beginning of his career, AI didn't trust banks, and he kept all of his money in huge garbage bags that were just laying around the house. Of course, some of the money bags went missing after a while, which is expected if you have 50 people in your entourage. Iverson
AI, my guy, changed the game, right? But the truth of the matter is, this could have changed the whole trajectory of his life. Because sometimes you don't get that second chance to be able to hit it big, right? His talent got him to the position to where he was able to be one of the top paid players in the league, but it was the culture and what we know coming up is what really could have changed everything for him. Now, he was blessed, but let's read Afrotech talked to him recently, right? Shout out to them. And I want you to hear a couple of things that he said, because it's really a masterclass in financial literacy, because learning what not to do is just as important. So he says, when you love the people that you love, you act accordingly. You react off what makes your heart beat. Business-wise, is not the best thing in the world to do. It took me a long time to implement the word no into my vocabulary. It has its ups and downs, but to me, I don't know about anybody else. There's really no blueprint to how you do it. I just think you let God handle it. Now for AI, y'all, he can say that. He AI. Even whenever after he's retired, his namesake is still worth money. So he can still recover and make moves happen. But for the average everyday Joe, you hit it big, get a good opportunity, and you mess it off by being irresponsible, you may not get that same opportunity again, right? Because there is a blueprint. It just wasn't given to us. But even when it's not, it's still our responsibility to go figure it out, right? So I think this is one of the biggest things that we could take from this. So I also wanted to highlight that he was blessed with good people. He did have some good people come around, and they really helped him, because that Reebok deal, they set up a trust fund for him to where he got 32 million coming his way in a few years. You know what I mean? And that's the power of having the right people around you, and you can't be afraid to venture outside of what you know, because what you know could be what holding you back. You heard how he said he got 50 people around and you paying for all of them, bro. You know, they're not bringing no value to the table. They just bringing you down. He could have set himself up with that money. Of course, he really didn't make 200 million, but let's just say he really touched, let's say 50. Even if he really touched 50, being responsible, he could have set himself up for generations upon generations and wouldn't have to do no work. His money could have just made money, right? So I want y'all to take it from AI. You ain't gonna, me and you, we not gonna be AI. We're not gonna have that level of starting to realistically bring in that type of money within that short amount of time span, right? So we gotta grind and make it happen. We gotta figure out what that blueprint is. This is why we need independent media. Right? We need independent media because we need people who gonna put us on game. Everything ain't a scam, everything ain't a conspiracy theory, fam. But this is what we do here with the party. I'm just your homeboy coming with an autonomous perspective. So hey, like always, appreciate y'all showing love, the likes, the comments, the subscriptions. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You know what we do this for. Hey, but until next time, y'all, I'm out of here. Peace.
Like,
this is all the love I had. I can't get it back, I won't get it back, Gave all the love I had. One motherfucking 3, nigga. I can't get it back, I won't get it back, can't get it back.